Okay guys, good evening and welcome to this next episode of FPL Family. And as you can see, we are very much making do this evening. We are making do, guys. For those of you that joined us last week, you will know that we moved house during the week. So, I don't know, the acoustics in here are pretty good. The light is pretty good. I actually think we're coming across pretty well on the webcam right now. But the webcam is on a slight tilt because that's the only way I could get the tripod to stand on the table in front of us. We've got the microphone slightly away because that's the only place I could put that. We've got a ton of boxes behind us, guys. So literally, we are making do. So we apologise in advance, but we did not want to not do a stream tonight. We were not going to let moving house get in the way of tonight's FPL Family because loads and loads to talk about. Again, loads and loads to talk about. You haven't got somewhere to put your notebook, I've noticed.
I haven't got a notebook because, well, I've got nowhere to put it.
Nowhere to put your notebook. So you are literally freestyling off the top of your head tonight. Let's just see how it goes. At least we've got the international break, the next 2 weeks, to get our act together. We'll try and sort that out. And then we're thinking about, I don't know, maybe we have a little sofa or something over there and we do like FPL Family on the sofa. I don't know. I genuinely don't know, guys. As you've got to take us as we are today. You've got to just accept that it's going to be a little bit
chaos.
A little bit. We're winging it. We're winging it. There's no doubt.
Weeks this week where anything can happen.
Anything can happen. But genuinely, both a little bit less stressed than we were this time last week when we were talking about, we've got to move in a few days and we're packing everything up and we weren't, obviously hoping the move went well and all the rest of it. We're a bit less stressed now that we're here and we're settled in.
Yeah, we are here. We are settled in. We have hosted a birthday party.
Yes.
What a week. But, yeah.
The key question from the guys in the Patreon Slack, by the way, thank you guys for asking this question, and it's to you, Sam, is what has happened to the now infamous curtains, the green, sick-coloured curtains that we used to present in front of at our previous address. The guys in the Slack were talking about, in the same way that when a stadium closes, you cut bits of turf out and send it to people. The guys in the Slack were saying, can you please cut the curtains up and send us bits of the curtain? Now,
I'm afraid
there's one or two rogue elements in our Slack that wanted that. I wouldn't say that's representative of everybody in the Slack, but one or two of the guys wanted some curtains.
Yeah, I'm afraid that we had to leave them in the house. That was part of the
we were never going to bring them. They're absolutely
awful. I mean, obviously, the people that bought the house,
they'll be delighted.
They wanted the curtains.
Probably FPL Family fans.
Can you imagine if we find them on YouTube, on eBay? Today, FPL Family curtains.
So guys, hopefully the video and the audio is all coming across all right. Let us know if it's not. We are very much winging it today. We've got a broadband connection which is the first time we've tried it out on the live stream. Seems, touch wood, seems quite stable since we set it up on Thursday. Seems quite stable. We're going to see how it goes tonight. This is our first live stream with the new hyper-optic broadband, which actually is quite a bit faster than what we used to have, so it should be alright.
I like the fact that you've kept the nice
I've got, yes, of course.
And you've given me the scabby old one.
You've got the scabby old chair. You've got at least got a cushion.
Well, only because I went and got myself one. You didn't get me one.
Listen, we've got to say hello to a few people. Before we do that, guys, head over to the polls. Little white eye above my head.
What? The cup of tea was so hot, it steamed up my glass.
I don't want to make you a cold one. Guys, get over to the little white eye above my head and answer these questions in tonight's polls. And these are questions that have come from the patrons in our Slack. So guys, thank you very much for all of our patrons that have asked questions in the Slack over the last few days. The first question comes from Mr. Danny McDonald. Thank you, Danny. He is saying, best defensive double up going forward, Sam. Leicester, Liverpool or Sheffield United. If you're going to double up at defence, where are you going to go? I'm pretty sure that Sheffield United double up is still doing you all right, even though no clean sheet this game week. Still looks pretty solid.
I didn't intend to play them both this weekend, but yeah.
No, indeed. So Leicester, Liverpool or Sheffield United for the defensive double up. I have to say, I do fancy the Liverpool double up now that the fixtures look good. And now I've got a route into Trent and Robbo, which I'm going to talk about a bit later on, guys. David L. Thank you, David, for the question in our Slack. He is saying, which is the best Leicester asset to own outside of Vardy? It's kind of assumed now that most of us have got Vardy. I haven't. But I must admit, I've got another plan to get into Vardy, so more on that later on.
Your plans.
To be honest with you, and we said this, I think Joe said it on the Scoutcast when I was on last week with him and Holly.
Sorry, I'm just fidgeting.
He was saying, yeah, it's not a very comfortable chair, is it?
Not very comfortable.
If you can get yourself comfortable.
Your arm was digging in my leg.
What? My actual elbow?
No, not your actual elbow. The arm of your chair.
All right, okay, sorry. I'll try and sit as still as I can.
We're making it up as we go along. I don't know how to sit.
Had you going to be like this the whole time? Yeah, I don't really know what. How shall I? I don't know how to sit. It's gonna be a weird strain in a minute. I can feel it already. You don't even know how to sit. Look at you with your arms crossed and you
don't know what to do. Well, normally I have my feet up on the chair opposite.
And normally we have a table to lean on. You've got a notebook. It's all pretty freestyle it tonight.
Yeah.
Pretty freestyle. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a bit too
We might not even make the hour. Who knows? Might even make the hour. But David is saying, what is the best non-Vardy Leicester asset to own? And I must admit, just saying that Joe on Scoutcast last week was saying if you don't have Vardy now, it really hurts your rank. Really hurts your rank. I've had a pretty good game week, guys, but no Vardy has meant that my decent game week has stayed just decent. Had I had Vardy, I think I would have been right up there. But nevertheless, I do have a route into Vardy that I'm going to talk about a bit later on. But if you've got Vardy, if you captained him this game week, well played. It was a great move, and I think was the obvious captain choice. I think, despite you going on the FPL show in midweek and saying you were captaining Kane, which was frankly ludicrous.
I've had one of these weeks this week where I think because I've been so busy with other stuff, I set my bus team last weekend and was like, right, that's it.
And Vardy was your bus captain, wasn't he?
Well,
this time last week?
He must have been.
Yeah.
I thought it was Kane, but it must have been Vardy because when I logged on Friday, and I thought, right, Friday, make some changes today. Oh no, it's deadline tonight.
Your golden rule, for those that don't follow us that regularly, your golden rule is no changes to your team.
That's right.
On the deadline day. So on that Friday, you were not going to make any changes.
So I looked at my team on that Friday thinking, I can make a change because, Saturday. Oh no, it's deadline, so I can't move my captain's armband. I was like, alright, well, it's Vardy, so that's fine. It's not like it's a bad captain.
But you were going to go Kane, that was in your head.
It's not the one I wanted, I would have moved it. But I did break my cardinal rule because somebody...
What? Excuse me, I talked you out. You were going on the FPL show saying I'm having Kane captain, and I said that is ludicrous.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that we're putting the kids in the bath. It's like 10 minutes before bedtime and 10 minutes before the fancy deadline, and I was like, I don't really know who to play. I brought in Moutinho, but I've got Callum Hudson-Odoi. Somebody goes, well, you've got to play whatever his name is.
Trout. Cho.
Because it's the only time he's going to start, and I thought,
yeah. Listen, I thought Callum Hudson-Odoi was going to be due a start.
So I moved it. I benched Moutinho, who got an assist.
Who got 4 points.
But still 3 more than Callum got.
So you missed out on 3 points. You're going to blame me for those 3 points, even though I talked you into Vardy captain over Kane.
You didn't talk me into Vardy captain. I hate him.
We're getting away from the questions. David's asked. Still doing the bloody polls. Best non-Vardy Leicester asset. And all your favourites are in there, guys. So get in the questions in the polls and answer that one. Next question is from Sean Thorpe. Sam, you'll be pleased to hear it's not about ducks or horses or any of that nonsense. If you're not sure what we're talking about, go back and watch a few videos ago. Sean Thorpe, thank you for the question.
Will be next week.
Best 4.5 enabler. Here are a few options. Willems, Jan Matt, who actually is coming to the fore right now.
Oh no.
Well, listen, Jan Matt is right on the radar, despite not being able to defend.
Shout out to producer Sean from the FPL show.
Absolutely, he does get forward a little bit, Jan Matt. But Taylor from Burnley, Rico or Kelly. So Sean wants to know who's the best 4.5 midfield. He calls them enabler. He says who's the best enabler defender. There's a few in there that I would say are not enablers. I would say they are starting 4.5s. I think if you've got someone like Rico, Jan Matt even, I think those are players you play, I think. But nevertheless, Sean wants to ask that question. And then Kyle, Dynamite Dons, thank you, Kyle, for the question. He is saying, which is the preferred formation going forward, Sam? Are you going 3-4-3, 4-4-2, 3-5-2, 4-3-3? So there's lots of numbers in there, a bit mind-blowing. So get into the polls. All the options are in there. I think largely answer that question within your head. Where are you going to be investing going forward? Is it at the back? Is it in midfield? Is it up front? And then pick a formation based on that, I think. So those are the questions, guys. Thank you very much to the guys over in the Slack for asking those questions. We're going to say hello to a few people. We're going to say hello. Let's head over to here.
Let's see what they think of our boxes.
I've got it on the wrong page as usual, so I'm going to go over to here and go to the Twitter. There's our Twitter on the left-hand side, at FPL Family. 21.5k of you following us over there. Thank you very much for doing that. If you're not following us, we'd love you to hit that follow button. Let's say hello to a few people here. We've got Sarthik Bora says, hi. How are you doing, Sarthik? Azzy is in. Good evening, he says. I love this good evening thing. This is what's his name from us? This is Unai Emery's new good evening thing, isn't it? Everybody's good evening everywhere. Aryaman, hello guys. Congratulations. Thank you, Aryaman. Thank you very much. Andrew Yee is here. Andrew, who tweeted me actually just before I come on. He said, you're a bit quiet about VAR today, Lee. Bit quiet. So I think we got the rubber to green with VAR today, but listen, that does not make me...
something. Lee wasn't quiet at home.
No, I was, well...
No.
Yeah, I mean,
You
Andrew...
might have been quiet on Twitter about VAR. He was not quiet about it at home.
Andrew is right. I was quiet about VAR on Twitter today, but that was mainly because we got the rubber to green with VAR today.
Sorry,
that does not make me... That does not change my belief that VAR is still complete and utter guff. I still think it is. We got the rubber bit today, but... Yeah, I mean, the decisions today that went in Liverpool's favour, I mean... We'll talk about it a bit later on, but yeah, it's just not great.
I do seem to have a harder time of it than most Man City when it comes to VAR.
Bless him, I really feel for him. Mission Fit is here, how we doing Mission? Crackerjack is in, how we doing Crackerjack? Very nice to see you. Harry Clark is in, how we doing Harry? Awooga Bricks is back again for another live stream. Awooga Bricks, how are you doing? Carrie256, haven't seen Carrie for a little while, so Carrie, welcome back to the FPL Family live stream, very nice to see you. Liam Healy is here, how we doing Liam? Nice to see you. Daniel Henkel is in. And we've got Michael Sweden is here. How are we doing, Michael? Steve Wynyard is in, as ever, Steve.
Oh,
good evening. How are you doing? Steve should be pretty happy.
3 points.
United back to scoring goals. Rashford, Martial, that partnership kicking off again. So, yes, looking good for United. Looking good for United. Joe Finley Batter is here and moderating. How are you doing, Joe? As is Josh. Thank you, Josh. Thank you both of you guys for joining us here on the live stream. And they should both be happy. Yeah, Joe should be very happy with that.
Joe and Josh.
But goodness me, a Norwich in trouble or a Norwich in trouble. Goodness me.
You're glad you finally got off Pookie, right?
I'm very glad I finally got off of Pookie. There's people, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same every single week. People will be on Twitter saying, I've got to leave the party now, I was about 2 or 3 weeks late leaving that particular party, so if you're still at it...
I was a week late.
I think it's absolutely time to go. Absolutely time to go. Brian Springer is here. Brian, good evening. How are we doing? Anthony Richardson, Matthew Knight, Florian Sandu, Garfield Robb, Jamie Lamming, and a whole host of you guys. So thank you very much for joining. 522 in already. Must have been a good game week.
The boxes, that's what it is.
It's come to see
what kind of disarray we're in.
A lot is the answer to that. A lot. You can't sit in the right position.
I
can't sit still. We're not in our usual leaning forward notes position.
I tell you what, international break is coming at a good time.
It is.
Fixing streaming related things.
To get in the little studio room ready. It's not like what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's about 8 or 9 boxes to sort out, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
I mean, to be fair to you, these are ones that I didn't really know where they should go, so I just wrote office on them. And then I didn't occur
just random stuff.
Yeah, and it didn't occur to me that actually we would need this room fairly quickly for streaming purposes. So yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right, well listen, there's our Twitter on the left-hand side, at FPL Family if you're not following us over there. We're also on Instagram, at FPL Family as well. We're also on Facebook as well. If you search FPL Family on Facebook, we're over there too. Let's get on, Sam, with these games. I want to have a look. And obviously, I think there's only one place to start. We need to start with what we've just watched over at Anfield. Give us your take on the game. Salah and Mane sharing the points. I think Salah maybe beat Mane by a point based on maybe some bonus points that
I thought they were
he got.
Did Mane drop off?
Mane got 7, I think, in there. I think Salah got 8. I haven't looked at the overall bonus right now, but give me your view.
Scored the winning goal.
Oh, true. Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah. Although actually, it says in here Salah only 1 bonus point.
Yeah, but they were both sharing 1 at the end of the game.
Yes.
So that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 8 and 7, not much to choose from them, I think, is the overall message. And also not a lot to choose from FPL price-wise either now. They're literally becoming more or less the same. What about those fullbacks though? Trent Alexander-Arnold again today with the 2, but it's Man City. I think if you played him, you were hoping for attacking returns. You were thinking Liverpool. It would be really nice for Liverpool to get that clean sheet today. We haven't kept a clean sheet at home yet this season, which is it is a shame. And again, it was one of those, and I've said it before in live streams, where Liverpool go 2 or 3 up. It feels like the game's won, and the foot comes off the gas a little bit.
Yeah.
I know City were pressing, right, and it's Man City. They're going to do that. But when Bernardo Silva scored that goal on I think it's 78th, 79th minute, there was still time to get in that game, and Sterling got in behind a couple of times, and it was a bit squeaky, more so than it really needed to be, in my opinion, because the game was kind of seen out. So given that we've got, obviously, a 2-week international break now, I don't think anybody should be too hasty with their transfers, but I think there's going to be a lot of transfers in for Liverpool, given that the fixtures from Gameweek 13 look absolutely spot on. So what are you thinking?
I was quite certain that I was going to bring in Robbo and have the double defensive partnership for the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Based upon the attacking returns more than the defensive ones. But actually, today's game's kind of put a cat amongst the pigeons, I think, because I know that obviously Salah went off early and we saw a little bit of a reoccurrence of that niggle who went down with it, didn't he?
It was sort of limping a bit off, wasn't he? It's definitely something wrong with that ankle.
Yes, but I felt like today we did see the Salah of old for quite a lot of that game.
I think that had more to do with how much of an upper hand he had over Angelino.
Yeah, probably.
I thought that ball from Trent was always on in behind. The ball from Van Dijk was always on in behind Angelino, and Salah was giving him a lot of difficulty. I actually looked at the first half heat maps, and Henderson was actually pulling out wide as well. He was the second most furthest forward player in that Liverpool team in the first half. Yes, Salah was the furthest forward, and then Henderson. And if you looked at where they positionally were, they were right on top of each other. So clearly Henderson had worked out there was a weakness on that side of the City defence, and he was going over to double up with Salah against Angelino and the other guys on that side, and it was working, right?
But I think it's the first time in a very long time that I've felt like the Salah Mane double up could actually be on. And so I need to spend international break kind of
it's so expensive though, isn't it?
It is, but when you've got...
You've got Kane in your side, haven't you?
Yeah. It is achievable to have them both. And it was the first time today where I've watched Liverpool and thought, yeah, I can see the value in that. I see the value in Trent and Robbo, absolutely. Yeah. But with those fixtures coming up the way that they are, and against the clubs that you've got coming, I just see that there's going to be attacking returns like that for Mane and Salah regularly, where they're both going to score goals, and I kind of think it might be a nice differential for me to go that way into it. So that is currently where I'm thinking. Plus, I also know that you're probably going to go with a defensive double up, and so I'm kind of thinking, well, it's a bit different then.
Yeah, I think the Salah and Mane thing could absolutely work, and if I got rid of Sterling, that is absolutely where I could go. I could go for Salah as well as Mane and get rid of Sterling. I just think there's so much value in those two at the back. So much value. I mean, Robertson with another assist today. No bonus points, but again, like we said before, we've said it a million times, if we just concentrate and don't let that last go in, Robbo gets probably double digits again. And I don't know how many weeks we have to sit here and say, oh, they're unlucky not to get double digits. But they were again, and Trent is... I mean, even when he doesn't get the clean sheet, Trent gets points from somewhere, normally.
But the thing is, I equally think that... I know it's Man City today, and the likelihood was always that you were going to concede at some stage. It was unlikely that you were going to get a clean sheet today. But I'm also looking at those fixtures coming up and going, well, it's also quite probable that you could be 4-0 up in some of those games, the way that you play attacking wise.
Well, let's have a look at those. Let's have a look at those fixtures. Liverpool second in the ticker on Fantasy Football Scout, only second to Leicester. So Crystal Palace away next, which on paper is a tricky game, but I think Palace will be difficult to break down. I don't think they're necessarily going to be too much of a goal threat to Liverpool in terms of going forward. Then it's Brighton at home, Everton at home. Now, both of those teams can score goals, but it's at Anfield. I expect us to dictate the game and the tempo.
Yeah.
Bournemouth away, it'd be interesting to see what sort of Bournemouth turn up to that. We've seen Bournemouth dry up actually going forward recently. Not so much this game week.
Yeah.
But they've been far better defensively and not scoring as many goals. And then it's Watford at home for Liverpool. So I actually see, and that's why I want to go for the Trent and Robbo rather than the Mane and the Salah. Yes, of course, Mane and Salah is a I mean, going into that would be a delicious thing to have in your fantasy team, no doubt about it. But I also think Trent and Robbo would be good as well, and I think the defensive points are there as well.
I just worry that you do what you did today, and you go 2-3-0 up, and you just stop pushing, and you go into that sort of slightly, I don't want to say coasting, but it is sort of coasting, like you feel like the game is won, and you just go to see it out.
Yeah.
But in previous years, when you've done that, you would see the game out. But now, it feels like, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's because the defence has been a bit unsettled this year with the loss of Matip and with Alisson and everything else.
Yeah.
And whether they're just not yet a fully bonded unit, because obviously they've still got Lovren playing in there. But for whatever reason, there just doesn't seem to be that let's see the game out at the moment. And for me, that worries me a little bit with Trent and Robbo, because I feel like Trent is... Every week, I'm watching him thinking he should have got attacking returns in this game, and then he blanks because he loses the clean sheet. Okay. So it's difficult, isn't it?
Let's see what you guys are saying about Liverpool in the live chat. Let's see. The subs Klopp make sets up a complacent attitude, as he says. Okay, interesting thought. How many boxes have you got, Mafio Sol says? We've got a lot, Mafio Sol. We've actually unpacked quite a lot, but we still have a lot left. There's no doubt about it. Let's see. FPL Gazmo, can Everton get more than 3 points in the next 5 matches? We'll be talking about them a bit later on. But one super chat that I did notice from Mr. Wynyard a bit earlier on. Here we go. Steve, thank you for the super chat. Sterling KDB, what to do? So given we've just discussed the fact that Liverpool's fixtures look fantastic going forward, let's skip back to Fantasy Football Scout and look at Manchester City's. Well, they are towards the bottom of the ticker with Chelsea at home next, and the way that Chelsea are playing, particularly away from home, every reason why Chelsea could do something in that game, that's actually a massive game now, isn't it? You think about it.
Absolutely.
With Chelsea being a point ahead of Man City, that is a huge game now all of a sudden for City.
Yeah.
Newcastle away, Burnley away, Manchester United at home, and then Arsenal away. So there's all, it's mixed, I think I would say, rather than it's difficult. But nevertheless, there are 5 fixtures there where I don't think I necessarily want KDB and Sterling, which is currently what I have in my setup. You have just KDB right now.
Yes.
I suggest that you're probably pretty happy just with KDB, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't want any more. I still stay with, and Josh messaged me just before the Liverpool City game came on and said, "Oh, you must be happy about the no Sterling now Mendy's not playing." And I was like, "Yeah, I feel a bit more like I take a deep breath every time I look at the team sheet, because if Mendy's not there, then I think, oh, okay, might go away with Sterling." And it seems to go that way. Now, Sterling was unlucky today. He had some really good opportunities and he probably should have done better than he did.
He also could have got booked and got his 5th booking this season,
absolutely,
by the way.
He should have.
Yeah.
And I think he should have been booked. I think he's a very lucky boy not to be booked
And
right at the end.
And I think that is something to factor into your thinking. If you're Sterling owner, guys, and I am, that is something you should factor into your thinking, is the fact that if he picks up a booking anywhere in the next... Well, it gets wiped out in the new year, doesn't it? I think so.
Yeah,
actually,
it's a long way
you've got a long way to go with that booking.
At some point, he is going to get a suspension.
He's going to miss a game at some stage, isn't he?
Yeah.
And there's a very good chance that it could be in the next sort of 4 or 5. So I have to factor that into my thinking in terms of, do I want Sterling? Not just to the fixtures really difficult, but I could take a lot of money out of him and improve my side in terms of, someone like Vardy, someone like Frederick Gilbert to Robertson could be a viable upgrade if you take all that money out of Sterling.
I don't think at the moment, with Manchester City playing the way that they are and the fixtures the way that they are, you need any more than one. Now, I don't necessarily think it matters who that one is. If you want to stay with Sterling and lose KDB, then fine. It's a bit more difficult if you want to then bring KDB back though, because of value added and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But I certainly also think, and we should throw Aguero in here as well while we're talking about City, I certainly think if you own Aguero, I will be moving him on in the same way that I'm looking to with Kane now. They are too expensive to be blanking regularly. Yeah. And what we are starting to see with those two is that they are blanking regularly. I was surprised to see Aguero start today. I think it was only because of the fixture that it was that we saw Aguero over Jesus.
Do you know what? I actually thought that he might start Jesus because the one thing that he's come out, Pep Guardiola has come out and said, and the one thing that I've observed that actually Jesus is really good at, is he will press those centre-halves.
Yeah.
Particularly those that are not that comfortable on the ball. And let's face it, Lovren is not that comfortable on the ball. So I was expecting Jesus to come in and really put that press in.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. He played Aguero, and actually, Aguero he did look pretty dangerous. He could have had some goals. And City, I wouldn't say City... They did look dangerous in that game. They did get their tactics right, I think. We just hit them with a couple of sucker punches in the first half.
I just think the City aren't as clinical as they were last season.
Right,
I feel like last season...
They're wasteful, do you think?
A bit, yeah. I feel like last season they would have put these games away by now. And for whatever reason, I just don't feel like they are right now.
All right, okay. We've had a couple of super chats. One from Crackerjack. Thank you, Crackerjack, for the super chat. He's saying, which Liverpool assets are best to have given their crazy fixture list through November, December? So I think you're absolutely right, Crackerjack. You do have to factor in the fact that Liverpool have got a ridiculous amount of fixtures between now and the end of December. What I will say about that question is that I think it's very clear where Klopp's priorities are this season and where Liverpool's priorities are. It's the Premier League. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. The Carabao Cup game, yes, I know it's the day before we go to Qatar or whatever, right? But he is going to play the kids in that game. He will play the youngsters in the same way that he did against Arsenal.
Round, yeah.
And I know he played Origi and Milner as a few of the first teamers that did get into that side. But he's going to largely play the second string, the younger players against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's got to take his first team to Qatar and leave probably Pep Lijnders in charge of the young kids, I think Klopp is making a bit more of it than he probably needs to. And that's probably, I don't know whether I'm right in saying that. You guys can tell me in the live chat whether you agree. Klopp has always been one for, should be a winter break, too many games, you need to give the players a rest, blah, blah, blah. I think if he didn't come out and make a big song and dance and fuss about the fact that we've got this fixture pile up, I think people would go, well, what the hell? That's weird. So I think he's making a big fuss of it. He's probably right to, but I don't think...
It's a bit weird that they wouldn't move the game given that you've got to go to...
Yeah, but I just think he'll play the youngsters against Villa and that'll be the end of it. Another super chat, Tony Oliver, I'm getting rid of KDB. Don't want any City assets. Doesn't want any City assets at all. Doesn't want any City assets at all.
I sort of feel a bit like this. Who said this? Tony?
Tony Oliver, yeah.
I actually sort of feel a bit like this too. I am not... I would not be worried about not owning KDB at the moment in terms of owning a Man City asset. The reason I'm going to hold KDB is simply because of the level of ownership that he has. And if over those fixtures, and let's be honest, City are going to score goals over those fixtures, and if they're going to score goals in those fixtures, then likely KDB is going to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into them City-less. Basically it's a shield thing. I'm only holding him because I feel I need to, rather than because I want to. I'm
with you. I think, Tony, there is a case for it, mate, but you're going to be behind that sofa every time Man City take the field, no doubt about it. Now listen, we've got some things we can say about some of these games, but given that we've only got limited TV in here right now because we haven't set the Sky Q up, we weren't able to watch match today. I've seen some of the highlights on my phone of some of the games. Let's give as good an analysis as we can based on what we've seen. The one game that we did watch was Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 0. And again, I sit here every week and say how impressed I am with Chelsea. Obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi didn't get the start that we were expecting. Mount did play, which I thought was an interesting one.
Really surprised me, this.
That surprised me. Given that he was a little bit doubtful, I thought that Frank might say,
and it's international break next. I'd have thought he would have gone, take a rest.
Listen,
we've got Callum who can play.
Yeah.
Sit on a bench just in case we need you.
Yeah.
No, he
well,
doesn't.
he obviously sees... for me, that shows you how important... the importance of Mount to that team and the driving force he gives from the middle. Nevertheless, I still think that Pulisic looks like the one to have right now. I mean, I know it sounds obvious. What is it now? 5 goals in his last 3 games. Another well-taken goal. But just watching him, it's the first time I've really sat and watched him. I did watch him in that Burnley game where he got the hat-trick and he was phenomenal. He was everywhere. But it's the first game where I've really sat down, analysed him in terms of what he's doing. He gets everywhere. He gets absolutely everywhere, Pulisic. And he was phenomenal again at the weekend. A shout out to Willian as well. The kind of more experienced players in Chelsea are really coming to the fore. You know, players like having Kante back is huge for them.
Massive.
Absolutely huge, no doubt about it. But players like Jorginho and Willian all showing real fantastic leadership in that Chelsea team right now. But I really like Pulisic. How are you feeling about Callum Hudson-Odoi though? Something has to happen with this guy, right?
I think when I brought him in, it looked as though he was going to play regularly. He was playing regularly, but I think what we've seen over the last few weeks is that Lampard has played it absolutely perfectly with him in terms of keeping him out of the team, taking all the pressure off until he was ready, and now he's totally gone. And I think so at this stage, Callum Hudson-Odoi will be one of my 2 transfers out for this week. I gave him this week on the basis that I thought that Mount was injured and therefore not going to play. Otherwise, I'd have taken him out. Before now. So my kind of question with myself is, where do I go next? Because do I go to Mount? I don't really want to. I don't feel like Mount's in the right form at the moment, and they've got Man City next.
Okay.
Do I go Pulisic, who I think looks fantastic at the moment, but again has Man City next? Do I want to bring in a player that's going to play against Man City? Maybe. I mean, defensively they don't look that solid.
Chelsea can absolutely get at that Man City defence.
Yeah, or do I use that Callum Hudson-Odoi spot to do Mane by taking money out of
taking him up. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And where are you leaning right now? What are you thinking?
Mane.
You're thinking the Liverpool double. You like those fixtures?
Because I'm already on Tammy, and I kind of feel like, and I've also got Tomori. Sorry, Tomori, for benching you this week.
We'll talk about that later.
So I've got 2 Chelsea anyway. I kind of feel like I would really, really like 3 Liverpool. So there's a big part of me that goes, let's take the money out of Kane and let's pop it in the double Liverpool mid. Right,
okay. Question from Super Chat, actually, from Tony Oliver. Thank you, Tony, for the Super Chat. He's saying, and I think a lot of FPL managers will be having this sort of dilemma, actually. He's got Tomori, Mount and Abraham right now. Would you get rid of any of those for Pulisic?
Oh, that's really hard.
And if you were to get rid of either Tomori or Abraham, there's a good chance that involves a hit as well. So Mount to Pulisic right now, what's the difference in price? Maybe $500,000, maybe 0.4, something like that? because we're talking about 6.7 or 8 for Mount. We're talking about 7.2, I think, for Pulisic. Is Pulisic worth that 0.4 more?
Yes, for me he is.
Feels like it right now, doesn't it?
For
Feels
me,
like
it's worth it.
That's not saying Mount is a bad option, because Mount looks a very good option. And actually, were it not for a couple of very, very good pieces of goalkeeping in the last couple of game weeks, would have scored goals. One I can particularly think who was the keeper last game week where he nicked it onto the bar. Can't remember, but either way, Mount is a good option. There's no doubt, but Pulisic looks in great form.
It's definitely not that Mount's a bad option. It's just that if you're going to newly get into the Chelsea midfield, it would be Pulisic over Mount, I think. If you're already on Mount, would
Pulisic 7.4? The guys are saying already. So he's had more of a price rise than I thought. Yeah.
Would I go from Mount to Pulisic? I feels very, very sideways.
It does a bit, doesn't it? It's putting me off, I must admit.
I would be probably more inclined to lose Tomori. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but Chelsea defensively... So I benched Tomori this week on the basis that they haven't looked solid defensively. They've looked good, but they've not been keeping clean sheets. I played Tomori for the last 2 weeks and he's lost his clean sheet in the 85th and 86th minute or whatever. Alright, he's only got 8 this week on my bench. It's typical, isn't it?
Do you think the return of Kante means that they're actually tightening up a little bit? Because in the last couple of game weeks, like you say, lost the clean sheet at the end. Frustrating, but for 80 plus minutes, it's good defensive performance. Yeah. Again, good defensive performance this weekend. I know they've got to go to Man City next, so I don't think you'd bring in Tomori for game week 13. But after that, the fixtures are nice, as we've seen. So I don't think Tomori... I think I would say keep Tomori to answer Tony's question.
But I feel like you want to bring in Pulisic. If you're going to bring in a Chelsea player at the moment, you bring in Pulisic. And therefore, who are you going to lose? Well, you're certainly not going to lose Tammy, because he's great at the moment and I can't see any reason to lose him. So I guess then it is that swap from Pulisic, from Mount to Pulisic, which it just feels a bit of a wasted transfer.
All right.
I don't know. Let me think about that one.
Ritwick is here. He's saying Pulisic more of a rotation risk than Mount? ?
Well,
maybe, because I guess you'd say Callum Hudson-Odoi is fighting out with Pulisic largely more so than Mount on that left-hand side. But right now, he would not be dropping Pulisic. And if you think about what I think you said before, which is spot on, Frank's put his arm around him, made sure that he's got him used to living in England, used to the team, used to training regularly.
He just protected him.
That is Frank saying, you are one of my key assets. I'm going to manage you properly because you are going to be a really important part of my side. Yeah. And now it's shown. What fantastic management from Frank Lampard. Absolutely sensational. Charlie Pleiner, thank you, Charlie, for the question and the comment. Reece James and Emerson, vital for clean sheets. Yeah, Reece James got his first start of the season over Azpilicueta. So if you bought Azpilicueta in this game week on the back of his 87 straight starts or something for Chelsea, hard lines, because Reece James is now in there. He's 5.0 in the game, so he's actually that bit more expensive than Tomori.
But you can't bring him in, can you?
Well, I think he's got a bit of attacking intent about him. I'd like to watch him. I'm going to be scouting him against Man City to see
whether... Are you?
Listen, I do think with Kante back, they've tightened up a little bit, Chelsea. The obvious move is Tomori. The less obvious move is Reece James. And if Frank trusts Reece James in that Man City game, that is enough of a statement of intent from Frank Lampard to me that says, Reece James, you are ready and I'm putting you in my starting 11, and I will then think about him at 5 million. If he's got a bit of attacking intent about him, he's already scored a goal in the Champions League against Ajax, so he's on my radar, definitely on my radar. I like that from Charlie. It's a nice point, a nice comment. And Emerson on the other side, I'm less excited about Emerson, but what I do like about Emerson is he's a far better left back than Alonso. Alonso's great going forward, but defensively, if I was to buy into Tomori or Reece James, I'd be happier seeing Emerson on that side than Alonso, frankly.
Yeah.
There we go. Chelsea done and dusted. Let's move on. Let's have a look at... Where should we go next? What do you want to talk about?
Let's get Spurs over and done with.
Spurs 1, Sheffield United 1.
We were lucky not to lose the game.
I was going to say that, and I thought you would shoot me a death stare, because
I'll say it for you.
We're not going to say VAR, but Lundstrom's the nail on his big toe nail was offside, wasn't it? And
I will say, I don't know what needs to happen at Spurs, but something drastic needs to happen in the next 2 weeks, because for me, there are huge problems there. Sheffield United can count themselves very unlucky that they didn't take all 3 points out of that game. I cannot, for the life of me, fathom how we go from winning 4-0 in the Champions League to basically losing a game against Sheffield United at home in the Premier League.
Well, listen, I don't think anybody was thinking that was an easy fixture. Sheffield United very, very good, particularly away from home.
And I'm not saying it was an easy fixture, but what I'm saying is that what happened to the character that we saw on Wednesday evening?
Well, I think you were playing a pretty poor team on Wednesday. Although they haven't been beaten at home very often, I do agree with that. But Sheffield United, I think they are proving themselves to be very, very worthy of the Premier League.
They are. And I played Lundstrom because I didn't... Well, because why wouldn't you?
He hit the post, Lundstrom, but unlucky to not get FPL returns again.
Yeah, he was, yeah. And I ended up with a double Sheffield because Heaton got injured yesterday. What an absolute...
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a nightmare.
So I've actually got a problem if he doesn't recover over international break. Thank God international break is when it is, because I obviously can't play Henderson next week because
yes, of course.
Can't play against his parent club.
So FPL assets at Spurs then. You're on Kane. You've already discussed the fact that you're thinking about getting off of him. Despite the goal this game week, if you were a Son owner, how would you feel about owning Sonny right now? Is he too expensive? Is he in a team that's lacking a bit of confidence? Or is he still an option for you?
I think he's all three of those things, actually. I think he is too expensive. I think he is in a team that is... I don't even know where they are, but they're certainly nowhere near where they should be. But his comments lately, since the incident at Everton last weekend, have been really interesting, and the things that he said about his motivation. And he is one of those players that we saw it when he needed to get his, win the whatever it was he had to win, Asia Cup or Asia Games, whichever one it was. For me, he is one of those players that absolutely works based upon the motivation that he has in him, and he at the moment doesn't need to be motivated by Poch, and I think the rest of them do need motivated by Poch, and they're not getting it. He doesn't. He has his own self-motivation, and for him at the moment it's playing for Gomez, and that is really interesting in terms of why he's performing. Now, I wouldn't own him at the moment on the basis that Spurs as a unit are terrible. I think when Eric Lamela comes back will be a bit better. I like Lo Celso. I think he's got some decent character, and I'm really pleased to see Poch getting rid of Eriksen because that has made a big difference as well.
Yeah.
But there are fundamental problems at Spurs right now.
Do you know what? I never thought I'd say this, given the hard time that I give this guy over the months and years on, particularly on here on FPL Family. But you do miss Lamela.
We miss him massively.
Lamela sets the tone a little bit in terms of he will track down. He will.
He's
all right, when he's got the ball, I don't like him much as a player, but he does work hard, and the players, I think the other players react to that.
And when he comes on, he makes such a big difference, and when he starts games, he makes such a big difference. Him and Ndombele, for me, are the ones that make Spurs tick right now.
Yeah.
Poch doesn't seem to trust Ndombele, and I don't know why. He won't play him for whole matches. He brings him off. He takes him on. Just put the kid on and let him play. He's quality. Same with Lamela. He just needs to be fit. For me, it's a massive problem, and as a result, I'm going to get rid of Kane this week.
Okay, all right, more on that a bit later on. But the Spurs fixtures going forward: West Ham away, Bournemouth at home, United away, Burnley at home, Wolves away. Some tricky-looking fixtures in there. What I will say about West Ham, and we might talk about them in a second, they are bang out of form. And I remember I've obviously listened to the Planet FPL podcast with Suj and James. So if you guys aren't following at Planet FPL, you need to go and do that straight. That's a podcast that you absolutely need to listen to every week. Superb FPL analysis from Suj and James on there. Suj is a West Ham fan, and he said a few times on the podcast recently, don't underestimate the ability for West Ham to give teams a leg up when they need it. It feels no, honestly, and every time that he said it,
is this just you trying to make me feel better?
No, trust me. And every time he said it, I then watch West Ham's performance that weekend, and I'm like, do you know what? He's bang on, because West Ham then go and have a terrible performance, and they give that team a bit of a leg up. So maybe Spurs go to West Ham, although West Ham is a different proposition altogether, isn't it?
I feel like Spurs break my heart at the best of times at the moment, and I can't have them continue to break my fantasy team as well when I've got that much invested.
Harsh words. So you're thinking of game week 13, no Spurs?
Yeah.
No Spurs. Goodness me. All right. Well, there we go.
I don't think I've ever owned a fantasy team that's had no Spurs.
Okay. And Sheffield United, from their part, continue to look really, really good. They play Manchester United at home next weekend, and we're going to talk about Man U in a second and their mini revival this game week in terms of what Rashford. Can you sit still, please? For goodness sake.
I feel like I look really. I'm quite comfortable like this, but
your
I feel
body
like
language is terrible.
Exactly. So I'm conscious of that. So I keep like.
The guys are like, oh, Sam's defensive. Obviously had a bad week.
I don't mean to be. I just don't know how to sit.
Listen, right, we've got to say, we've got to address a couple of... Can you sit still?
No!
Goodness sake.
Sorry, guys.
A couple of super chats. Another Hoops is saying, hi guys, nice boxes. Yeah, well, we need to get rid of them. Another Hoops. Yarmolenko to Richarlison next game. We'll talk about both of those guys in a second. West Ham look like a hard avoid right now. There's no doubt about it. And Steve Wynyard, Martial is in a similar situation but cheaper. Let's go and talk about... I mean, I think we're done on Spurs Sheffield United, other than to say... Sheffield United are great. I think Sheffield United are great. I don't know where they are in the league right now, but they're definitely firmly and solidly in the top half last time I looked.
Well, they're about fifth or something ridiculous.
And if you're looking at anybody outside of Lundstrom, then why not? Absolutely, why not? A quick chat about Manchester United and Brighton then for Steve's super chat. We didn't watch the game because obviously Wolves was on at the time. But yeah, it does look as if Rashford and Martial coming back into it. Now, from what I can make out from Twitter and from you guys in the live chat, I know we've got Manchester United fans in, so Man United fans would love to hear your opinion on both Rashford and Martial. Despite the 2 assists, I think I saw Josh comment earlier that actually Martial was on the periphery of the game a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And actually it was Rashford that could have had a hat-trick in that game.
Really?
So given that, you know, both you and I'm thinking about taking money out of Sterling, you're thinking about cashing in on Kane.
Yeah, I am.
And Martial or Rashford on your radar? I mean, is Kane to Rashford something that you might consider?
I said on the FPL show last week that of the 2, I prefer Martial, and I still do.
Because of that out of positionness,
yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because it's a position in the middle where it's a bit more flexibility, isn't there? Because you can have, there's 5 of them rather than just the 3, so there's a bit more flexibility there. And I also feel like that extra point for goals and the clean sheet extra point and stuff like that make quite a lot of difference.
Okay.
And when you're talking about a player that's basically playing alongside Rashford, it makes perfect sense to own Martial rather than Rashford.
Yeah. Rashford top for shots though this weekend. I've just noticed top with Son actually on 7. So clearly, I mean, we'll watch Match of the Day 2 a bit later on, but clearly getting plenty of shots in, as Josh was saying. Could have had a hat-trick.
We will watch Match of the Day 2. I bet we will.
I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. We don't have the Sky hooks. We can get Sky and BT, but we can't get BBC right now.
Can we not?
No, I don't think so. Might have to watch it on my phone or something. I don't know. We'll find a way. I've got to watch it. With Liverpool Man City highlights. I've got to watch it. Pop over the road. Yeah, pop over the road. Go on then. So Manchester United, I guess on the radar, but until I've seen a bit more of the highlights of that game, I'm not sure I want to invest right now.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's how I feel. I feel like, and also they've got quite a tough fixture next, haven't they?
So Manchester United have got it's the Sheffield United game away next, which is tricky. There's no doubt about it. Then it's Aston Villa and Spurs at home, followed by the Manchester City derby, and then Everton at home. So again, a mixed bag to say the least. I think I actually don't think I would want to invest in them ahead of going to Sheffield United because of how good Sheffield United are defensively.
No.
With the tactics that Sheffield United play, with the overlapping centre-backs.
Although they won't have Henderson in that game.
True.
And he is a big player.
Still a watching brief for me, Manchester United. Not diving in. Not diving in. A team that I do want to dive in on, I'm already in on, I want to dive in even further, is Leicester. Put Arsenal to the sword this weekend.
Apologies, Soyuncu, for benching you again.
So you've benched Soyuncu and Tomori this game week, which is an absolute stinker on your part.
I've had 4, 8 and 9 on my bench.
4, 8 and 9. That's a bad bench.
I'd already had 30 on my bench, as the FPL show told us this week.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we found out from Jules and James on Thursday that you've benched 120 points up to this game week.
It was 129, wasn't it?
And now it's 120... Was it 129?
It was 129. And then
now I've
got
another 15.
No, more than that.
Yeah, it's more like 20.
It's more like...
Oh my God.
Yeah, I benched like 22 or something, haven't I, this week?
21 points on the bench. Absolutely savage. But talk us through the man in form right now, Jamie Vardy. I think that's either 10 or 11 goals in the season. The perfect blend of form and fixtures right now for Jamie Vardy. Is Vardy essential?
Yes.
I think he is right now. I think he is. It's hurting me not to have him. His ownership is so high that despite me having a good game week, it stopped me having a great game week.
It's the same
not having Vardy. There's no doubt about it.
It's the same with the defenders. Like Soyuncu is so highly owned that if he keeps a clean sheet and you don't own him or you don't play him, it massively hurts you. Yeah,
I mean, Aaron Chen is in the live chat. Thank you, Aaron, for the chat. He's saying, is it too late to get Vardy?
No!
It's not.
No.
It's not too late.
No.
Don't think that because he's gone up to 9.5, 9.6 or whatever it is now, and you've missed a couple of price rises, that it's not, you've missed out.
It's not too late.
Look at these fixtures, Aaron. Brighton, Everton, Watford, Villa, Norwich. I mean, there is some absolutely obliging defences in there. So much so that I would be more than happy having Vardy and Maddison going into those.
Yeah, and I think obviously that's the other part of my conundrum at the moment is, I'm obviously going to do a change up top, and with Kane I'm going to do a midfield change. But I'm looking at the Leicester fixture. I'm looking at Mane and thinking, yeah, that would be lovely to have the double up of Liverpool in the middle. I'm looking at Pulisic and thinking, yeah, that sounds nice as well. But I'm
Some
also
nice options, isn't there? Yeah.
looking at Leicester and thinking, I'd really quite like to have Tielemans.
Rather than Maddison?
Yeah.
Okay. What makes you think Tielemans over Maddison? Despite the fact that it would be different to me.
I just don't... Maddison trolls me. As soon as I get him, he'll do nothing.
He's the creative hub in that team, though. And I think what's different about this season is that Vardy is tucking those chances away. You've got Tielemans and Barnes and all those players tucking those chances away. Whenever there's a free kick anywhere in and around the box, he is the go-to for Leicester. He's on all corners. Yeah. The route to points for Maddison is good. I don't see him as that explosive. No. I can't see Maddison getting 2-3 goals a game.
No.
But I think at 7 odd million, whatever he is, 7.2, 7.3, I just think over the next few weeks, I think he'll be good value. But I do agree with you on Tielemans. He'll either be a 2-pointer or he'll be a 9 or 10-pointer, won't he? He'll get the goal or a goal and assist, or he'll get sort of nothing in the game. He's a bit more binary with him.
There are so many nice midfield options right now that I can't decide how to invest them, because you're looking at Liverpool with lovely fixtures, you're looking at Leicester with lovely fixtures. Looking at Chelsea, who have equally got nice fixtures.
Yes.
So, all of those guys, I kind of feel like they would be really good to own. Now, I don't really know where I'm going to go yet, and I need to put some real serious thought into it. Luckily, we've got an international break in order to do that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's definitely not too late, Aaron, to get on Vardy.
It's not.
100%,
No, it's not.
It's not.
Right.
Do it. Do it before you regret it. Is my advice. But I also think if you're not trebled on Leicester, now is the perfect time to get trebled on Leicester.
And defensively, I still think Soyuncu is such good value.
I think Chilwell looks brilliant. If you've got the money, if you've got the extra money, I think Chilwell looks fantastic, because
he and Pereira or Pereira.
Yeah, the attacking potential for those guys is enormous.
Yeah.
In the same way that it isn't for Soyuncu. I know we got a goal last week, but we don't see that same kind of attacking prowess as we do from Chilwell and those guys. But I certainly think that if you're not trebled on Leicester, and I'm not, it worries me, and I want to be.
And I hate being this guy. But a few weeks back, I said, a few weeks from now, Leicester will be above Man City in the league.
Can I just say, there's 1,000 people watching us.
1,004 people, guys.
1,000 people.
Guys, thank you. That is brilliant. When have we ever had 1,004 people?
No, we haven't.
I don't think that is easily an FPL family record. It's the
we
boxes.
Just have to see the box. We can never unpack.
We can never unpack. 1,004 people watching,
Good
guys.
grief.
Thank you to anyone that's new to the live streams, anyone that's not joined us before. That is sensational. I think we've got up to sort of 700 before, but to get to 1,000 is absolutely brilliant. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us. If you're new around here. And that 1,000 number seems to be sticking, so we're hoping that you're enjoying the content. Thank you very much. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you like what we do. We'd love for you to stick around. So 1,006 people now watching, Sam. Sensational stuff. Sensational. So guys, thank you for joining.
Sorry to have interrupted your train of thought.
No,
I looked at the screen and thought I better mention it. It's 109 now.
Absolutely worth interrupting me for. I think I missed a super chat just as that was going on. Yes, Tony Oliver, another super chat. Thank you, Tony. Should I hold on to Aubameyang? So we've waxed lyrical about Leicester City. Rightly so. They are the perfect blend of form and fixtures right now. I think it's worth the treble up given the value there.
Yeah.
I, for one, am planning to go into Gameweek 13 with Vardy, Maddison and Soyuncu, for sure.
Yeah.
Arsenal, on the other hand, how are we feeling about Arsenal right now? How are we feeling? Particularly Aubameyang. Tony's asking specifically about Aubameyang. Of all the Arsenal assets, he is the most dangerous, but
yes.
I don't like him in that setup when Lacazette plays through the middle.
No, and I benched Soyuncu this week on the basis that those attacking Arsenal players, and this pains me, they are brilliant. They are brilliant players. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, they're all quality.
Pepe's out of favour though. He doesn't know what to do with Pepe right now.
No, I know, but this is the point, isn't it? That individually these guys are fantastic. But whatever is going on, a bit like what's going on at Spurs, whatever is going on with Emery at Arsenal is having a big impact on the team and the way that they're playing. Now, Arsenal can always get attacking returns because they've got quality players who can just get a bit of magic out of them. And we saw that from Aubameyang last weekend. This weekend, no real sparks from them at all. And for me, in the same way that I've just been talking about Kane, and the same way that we spoke about Aguero at the beginning, I don't see the value in holding these players when you can have the likes of Vardy, who got a goal, Tammy Abraham, who got a goal, Jimenez, who got you a goal.
However, up next for Arsenal, Southampton at home. Would you sell Aubameyang? Tony's asking specifically Aubameyang. Would you hold on to Aubameyang ahead of Southampton at home? Southampton right now cannot get a win together.
Not if I didn't own Vardy and Tammy.
There are some priorities there, aren't there?
There are. I think you've got to assess your priority levels, and I would lose Aubameyang if it meant I could have Vardy.
Okay.
I would lose Aubameyang if it meant I could have triple Leicester or triple Liverpool.
Interesting. All right, we've got to move on, Sam, because we're already at 55 minutes. Time has absolutely flown by this evening. Absolutely flown by. A quick word for Wolves and Aston Villa. Very happy with my slightly differential captain Jimenez coming in. Waited until the 82nd, 83rd minute to get it. But Wolves, I think, despite I said before on the FPL show, I feel like they're finding their rhythm a little bit. I think they are, and I think they showed a bit of resilience today as well. I particularly enjoyed Adama Traore's performance. I've given him stick in the past, Traore, in terms of being crappied. Copyright.
You look like a rugby player.
Looks like a rugby player. Looks like he's playing with the wrong shaped ball. But today, he gave the fullback all sort of Matt Target. I think he had to go off injured, didn't he? Because he'd had such a torrid time against Adama Traore. I do think he's an option now. I honestly do.
I really like Wolves. I really like them.
Getting defensive about Wolves.
I'm not meaning to be defensive. I just don't know how to sit. I was the most uncomfortable I've ever been.
Go on, do your off. The guys will know that you're not being defensive.
No, but because what happens if somebody new comes in and they've never watched us before? They're going to go, she's a moody cow.
If we both sit like this, it'll be like the least engaging YouTube thing ever. It'll be like, whatever.
They will. They'll come in and go,
moody cow. Not subscribing to that.
Don't want to listen to her. Turn them off.
Come on, Wolves. Come on.
I really like Wolves. Hence why I bought in Moutinho this week. Raved lyrical about him all week. And
he got
an assist.
He got an assist. And to be fair, Neves was an amazing strike.
It was.
Right? So
yes, it was.
It's an assist, but yeah.
But I do think that it was an assist. I think from my point of view, my Kane spot is likely to become Jimenez. That was the front three I really wanted, and I said that last week. And the scout team was those three as a front three: Vardy, Abraham, and Tammy. Vardy, Abraham, and Jimenez. And I think that for me, they are the perfect combination of form, fixtures. Everything about those sides is working nicely at the moment.
Yeah.
They're all on nice, consistent. There's happiness in those teams.
Edoy is saying exactly that. Abraham, Vardy, and Jimenez up front as the front three.
It feels
like where everyone's going.
It does, and it feels like that's the place to be. And it's been taking a while for us to feel that way about Wolves again.
Yeah.
But I feel very much like Wolves have finally learned how to play on multiple fronts and play on multiple fronts successfully.
Okay. And from an Aston Villa perspective, you worried about McGinn in your team? I thought he looked reasonably dangerous again today.
No.
But how do you feel about owning him going forward? Given that, the Aston Villa fixtures, they've got Newcastle at home next, which is, I think, a nice fixture.
Yeah.
Manchester United and then Chelsea away in game weeks 14 and 15. Then Leicester at home, Sheffield United away. So after Newcastle, the fixtures take a significant turn for the worse for McGinn and co.
They do, but I'm not going to take him out before the Newcastle game.
No, okay.
So... And actually, as it is, I keep looking at him thinking, in terms of value, you still add quite a lot of value to my team as a fifth midfielder, and I can just bench you for those kind of fixtures.
Very good. All right, that's the fixtures, guys. That is. Oh, hello. We've gone on fantasy draft. No, we don't need to do that.
Well, let's not do that.
We don't need to do that. Oh goodness me, I've lost my page. Let's go back to home.
It's all gone wrong. Would be a family stream if we didn't. That's why you wanted to go home, isn't
That's
it?
what you just wanted Hendo and Bobby and Salah in there. I've completely lost it now. Here
just
we go.
Give him
Fantasy.
Firmino's dentist a little bit of a.
Firmino's dentist gets a shout out. Right, let's go into. I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to go to the OBS. And actually, before we discuss our teams, which we're going to discuss next, a little thing that I've done over the last week or so. We're now expanding the FPL family reach out into the podcast arena. So as you guys that are following us regularly will know that I put the live stream audio from these live streams, completely unedited, onto SoundCloud. I've been doing that for a few weeks.
They won't be able to see how I'm sitting.
So actually, it won't get... yeah, if you're listening to this on the podcast...
They'll be like, at the end, what are you talking about?
If you're listening back to this on a podcast, sit how you want, Sam.
Yeah, do
I like. No problem. Sit however you want. It's only the people in the live stream that think you're a moody cow. The podcasters think you're amazing.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll
Perfect.
take that.
We'll take the podcasters.
Take that.
So we're on SoundCloud, you guys, and we've been on there for a few weeks, and you guys will know that. And thank you if you've subscribed to us or followed us. I think it's following on SoundCloud, isn't it? But I've got my finger out of my backside, Sam. I've sorted out the podcasting community because the guys were asking for Apple Music, they were asking for Spotify and Deezer and Castbox and all sorts. So I've got my finger out my backside. I have now got FPL Family onto Spotify, onto Apple Music, and onto Deezer and a few others. So if you prefer to listen to your podcasts on any of those platforms, head over and search for FPL Family on any of those platforms, and you'll find us. We're there.
It is a bit weird when I log on my Spotify and I see me.
And we're there.
That is weird.
Yes, we're there, absolutely. So if you'd rather listen to us in pod format and you're not at all, and you therefore are not worried about how Sam is sitting, you're not interested in seeing the boxes behind us, then you can go find us on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Deezer, Castbox, and some others that are in the... I'm trying to get on as many as I can. I think you can find us on Google Podcasts as well. Have a look if that's your preferred. But I think Apple Music and Spotify are the main two, right?
Amazing.
I think so. So there we go.
Well done.
We've expanded the reach. So guys, if you're listening to this as a podcast and it's the first time you've listened, welcome. Thank you. And thank you for subscribing and following. Let's have a look at the teams. Here is your team, Sam, and this is a bit small on the screen. 55 points for this game week with a bench that's got over 20 points on it. An opportunity missed, it feels like. Go on, talk us through your team.
Yeah, I'm not... Yes, it definitely is an opportunity missed, 100%, but I was going to play Lundstrom because I always felt that there was attacking returns in that game for him, and there nearly were. I played Rico over Tomori, which was I ummed for a bit, but I just felt like Bournemouth defensively had been really solid and Chelsea hadn't.
Yeah.
And I could see Chelsea just getting sloppy at the end of the game and giving away a goal again like they did in the last two games.
I actually went for Rico because I saw that Newcastle were quite susceptible to set pieces and conceded from set pieces. On that basis, I went Rico. So
yeah.
I think there's logic in your pick, and there's clearly logic in your Lundstrom pick as well.
And there was logic in playing TAA because I felt like there was some attacking potential from him. So hence why Soinji made the bench. Because so far this season it hasn't worked for me. This is the second time it would have worked to have played more than three at the back. But yeah, I felt like the rest of them, I was never going to drop KDB or Sterling. KDB blanking, Salah did get me a goal, so that was positive. The Callum Hudson-Odoi thing is just downright annoying because if I'd have known that Mount was going to play, I'd have played Moutinho and then I'd have been 3 points better.
I don't think you can beat yourself up against that. And I know that I suggested it, so of course I'm going to say you can't beat yourself up. But I think general feeling was that Mount was carrying a bit of a knock, and if he didn't play, Cho probably starts, and it's maybe a different game.
What my annoyance is that I did it on Friday, and I know I should never do it. I should never move it on deadline day. That is my golden rule of FPL, and I don't know why I broke it.
But nevertheless,
otherwise, Captain Vardy worked out well.
Yes, absolutely.
Abraham did well. Kane's a problem I've got to solve. I might have a goalkeeping issue depending upon what is actually up with Heaton.
Yes, Heaton and Henderson next week could be a problem for you, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've got international break, thankfully. So Heaton's got 2 weeks to recover from whatever is wrong with him.
Yes.
Aston Villa doctors, if you could please
get the horse placenta out.
I mean, I don't know what you're going to do, but just fix him, please. Because I don't want to have to make a keeper change. That will really annoy me if I've got to spend 4 points to bring in a keeper.
Absolutely. But your overall rank's still at a very, very good 18.7. Yeah. It feels like you're sort of yo-yoing between top 20k and top 10k at the minute. It feels as if you just want to get that push up into the top 10k, top 5k.
I feel like I get there and then it's like one step forward, one step back. Like last week up to 8k, this week back down to 18k. Next week probably back up to 12k, something like that. Yeah. It feels like I'm in that part, but it does feel like that part of the overall rank is so close in terms of points that you can move so easily.
Okay,
but it's fine. I mean, I've stayed inside the top 20, which was at one point this game week I was thinking I'm going to be outside that, so that's fine.
Very good.
We'll go again.
Let's see. So Aaron Chen is saying top 500k to 300k overall rank for me with 71 points. Very nice, Aaron. Awesome. Very nice game week. Let's see. 88 points for me. 36k rank for Nazim. Very, very nice game week.
That's
like
the
look of that. Get into the live chat, guys. I want to see how you guys have been getting on. David Golick says, I'm catching up with you, Sam. He got 84 points this week. Puts him on 21k. You're looking over your shoulder and David is right there. He's right there.
Bring it on.
Gaz Temple is saying, beat Sam this week. Well chuffed. 67 points. Nice, Gaz. Well played. Very, very good. Let's see what else you guys. Let's see how you are getting on. Sion Desir 1.8 million to 1.3 million. Nice. Half a million rank wise.
That's nice.
Just shows you guys that it's still
so close.
Even though we're in game week 12 and you think we've done it all. We're far into the season. You can't make these jumps. A good game week can still give you that jump. No doubt about it.
This year more than ever. There's a lot of managers that are still properly playing it. I think in the past there's been a lot of dead teams by now. And so the ranks,
absolutely.
But yeah, this year.
Absolutely. 100k in rank, MZ Ludo says. Hello, MZ Ludo. Nice to see you back in the live stream. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Joe Sawyer got 91 points this week. Joe.
Lovely.
Absolutely astounding. Great stuff.
Nice.
Let's see. Lucy Kemba. Lucy, who's a new Patreon, actually. Yeah. Lucy, good evening.
Lucy, I have seen you've messaged me. I will come back to you. Sorry.
Very nice to see you in the live chat, Lucy. 52k. Up to 39k, she says.
Nice.
39k. Nice little rank rise. And actually, that sort of, what is that, 10, 12, 13k? That's a nice chunk out your rank at this stage.
She took my 10k.
She took your 10k, that's where it's gone. Football Kid, 80 points.
Lovely.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, very good. Very good.
Nice.
The Tesso went from 1.2 mil to 500k in the last 2 game weeks. Got 74. It just shows you see?
Yep.
There it is. Tesso is absolutely spot on with that. You can still take big chunks out of your rank, even though we're on game week 12. In previous seasons, you wouldn't have been able to do that, I don't think. A good game week would have knocked you up 100k maybe, or 80k.
No, I agree.
You can still, as the Tesso has done there, you can still get 500,000 chunks out of your rank with a decent game week. So guys, if you are sitting anywhere at a rank that you're not happy with, know that just a cheeky differential or the right captain pick can boost you right back up there. So do not worry. Do not worry. Let's have a look at my team. Very happy with my team this week. 68 points. They all pretty much put a shift in, actually. Given that I didn't have Vardy, and if I did have Vardy, I would have captained him, but didn't have him. So I captained him in this game week as
Who still did you really well.
A mini differential, yeah. And up until the 85th minute, I was really concerned.
Yeah,
very concerned.
You celebrated that almost as much as you did the Liverpool goal.
But one of the reasons I brought Jimenez in is that whenever Jimenez scores, he seems to get free bonus points as well. He's a bit of a bounce magnet in the same way that Vardy is. So
he's still a lovely diff at the moment.
And he's a nice little differential. I get the feeling over the next couple of game weeks he won't be, because people will start getting on him.
Like me.
So I'm quite happy to have the 9 points from him this game week. So that was good. I'm happy with Jimenez.
We're about to have the same front three, I've just realised, aren't we?
Well, I get the feeling that front three is about to become very popular.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Because there's 3 pretty good value picks there, to be
so.
fair. And they're all performing right now. Pope in goal with 9 was absolutely delightful. Very, very happy to get the Pope 9 pointer there, given that actually he's delivered the square root of naff all for quite a few weeks, so I was quite happy to have Pope. Rico and Lundstrom not doing much there, but bless them. They've had previous game weeks, they've done very well, so I'll let them off. Same for Trent Alexander-Arnold actually. Soyuncu coming in with the 8 points, very happy with. Maddison with the 9, good as well. Abraham 8 and Mane 7. So actually, had a nice spread of points.
Nice.
There wasn't really anybody in there that stood out as doing fantastically well. I didn't have anybody that got double digits, for example, but a few 8s, a few 9s. It was a pretty solid week. A very, very solid week.
How many transfers have you got for international break?
So I have 2 for international break. 2 for international break. And I'll ask you in a minute what you're thinking. I think we've had a bit of insight into Kane out in terms of what you might do over the international break. I am absolutely considering Sterling out over the international break, given that it doesn't seem to be in a massive amount of form right now, and the fixtures look difficult, and he's this booking away from a suspension. I'm not sure I want him in my team. So then just before I was coming on the stream, I thought, well, if I do downgrade him to someone, super, super cheap. And when I mean super cheap, I went to Adama Traore at 5.1. That gives me enough money to do Connolly to Vardy and Gilbert to Robertson. So I can revolutionise my team, guys. I'm thinking of taking a 4-point hit over the international break, taking all that money out of Sterling, changing him to Traore, going double Wolves going forward, which...
Would that just leave you with KDB?
Just KDB from City.
Same with me.
So take the Sterling money out and change him to Traore, and then upgrade Connolly and Gilbert to Robertson and Vardy, which seems like
no-brainer.
Really, really nice moves. Really nice moves. So, given that Vardy is going up in price tonight,
some nice price value. Thank you, Vardy.
Possibly have a well. According to Fantasy Football Fix, he's going up tonight. I think according to FPL statistics, he might be going up tomorrow. But either way,
I'm getting a point.
It's happening soon. Either way, it's happening soon. But nevertheless, my overall rank has gone up about 30,000 places. I was 133 coming into the game week. I've gone up to 103. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy. I think I'm very steady Eddie at the moment. I'm very steady. Same as my team this week. No one's really blown it out of the water. But at the same time, everyone's chipping in with 8 or 9 points. I've gone from 130 to 103.
Nice.
I seem to be hovering around the 100k mark, between 100 and 150. And I think I'm 1 or 2 good game weeks away from breaking into sort of 70, 80k, but I just seem to be hovering. Can't get that captaincy still quite right. I don't know. But nevertheless, pretty happy with that. We just had a quick super chat. We're going to go and ask that. Tony Oliver is saying, when do you guys consider the triple captain? I must admit, I will save the triple captain until the double game weeks a bit later in the season.
Yeah, I'm not using mine in a double this year.
Yes, and I think given that Liverpool don't play in game week 18, that therefore means we're going to have a Liverpool double game week at some stage in this latter half of the season. So I think the triple captain comes into play there.
For me, I've always used it on a double game week. I'm not sure I'm going to this year because the double game week, somebody it happened last year. The Pep roulette struck, and you only get playing for one game or out of them or what have you. So for me, I'll probably look for a really nice fixture for a really informed player.
Yes. Okay. Very good. So what's left to say? We need to check in on the November Manager of the Month Patreon League.
Love it.
So well done to Kieran Screeton, who we had a little interview with. I interviewed him in the week.
Watching that
Lovely little video, yes. I had a really nice chat with Kieran about how he's getting on in fantasy this year. And by the way, he's doing very, very well.
Yeah, I'm sorry to have missed you, Kieran.
Very, very well indeed. We're packing up the house and all sorts. But he is something like 480th in the world right now. And I don't mean K. I mean 480th
he's doing
right
amazing.
now. He's doing really, really well, Kieran. So get over to @FPL_Keza. FPL_Keza. That is Kieran Screeton. He is one of our Manager of the Month patrons. He's already won the October Manager of the Month, and he got an awesome signed Liverpool champions.
What's going on with all these patrons? They're always Liverpool.
They're all Liverpool fans, absolutely. But he got the signed Liverpool 6 Champions of Europe shirt, courtesy of kickingtheballs.com. And if you want to go head over to our sponsors, kickingtheballs.com, use the voucher code FPLFamily10. Loads of great things for Christmas presents on there. Sensational stuff for Christmas presents. Not just Liverpool either. Despite the fact we seem to only give away Liverpool stuff.
You can have
There's
other clubs.
Spurs, Arsenal, City, any club. There's boxing stuff on there. There's Formula 1 stuff. Loads of great stuff. If you're wondering what to get your significant other for Christmas, head over to kickingtheballs with 2 S's, kickingtheballs.com, and use the code FPLFamily10. All the links in the description below. Really, really great stuff for Christmas.
They do mounting kits as well, don't they? So if you've already got something that you want to mount,
they can give you the display. Really, really good stuff. Lovely, lovely website. So the Manager of the Month for November is hotting up. It is now closed, the Manager of the Month of November. So if you want to get involved in the December one, which will be opening in a couple of game weeks' time, you can, of course, head over to patreon.com/FPL Family and support us and check us out over there. But the November one is closed, so it can be fair to the guys that are already in the league. And it is actually Pete Hampson who is top right now. So Pete and his team, the Chelsea Pensioners, who we did shout that out last.
It seems so appropriate given it's Remembrance Sunday today for him to be top.
Absolutely. Pete Hampson with his team Chelsea Pensioners, top on Remembrance Sunday. How appropriate is that? David Strombold is second. Andrew Roper is third. Bryce Law is fourth. Kieran is actually back into fifth. Kieran, another good game week. 81 this game week.
Nice.
He's having a great season, isn't he? Kieran, absolutely sensational.
Very nice.
And then Matt Elsey in with 74 points this game week, up into 6th. So there we go. It is hotting up in the November Manager of the Month as part of our Patreon League. 2 more game weeks to go in that. Anything can happen. It's still pretty tight. So Pete is at the top on 175, and then Matt Alsey is on 158. So what's that? Less than 20 points between the top 6. And as we saw a few months back with Tracy, anything can happen. You can come from out of the blue. You can come from out of the blue and win these leagues, because it doesn't matter how bad a season you're having or how good a season you're having. Every month starts from 0. So you can come in, join us on patreon.com/FPL Family, get involved over there.
Amazing.
And you can take part in our Manager of the Month competitions. There we go. All that's left to say, guys, is that we're on FPL FYI with James and Rambo this week. And it's actually both of us on this week. Both of us on. So that should be really, really interesting. And we've also got the Fantasy Premier League podcast that I am doing this Thursday. So another, guys, busy week for FPL Family over this international break. We're going to see whether we can do a Game Week 13 preview live stream this time next week. We're going to see how we get on with this. We're going to see how we get on with the rest of the house. if we're in a position where we can do it, guys, we will try and bring you a Game Week 13 preview live stream. Particularly if, Sam, we get 1,000 people in. 1,000 people. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Which is, always forget the polls. But thank you guys for the 1,000 and however many it was, 1,040 at one stage.
1,100 at one
Absolutely. For all of you guys that have joined us, thank you very much for joining us. And like I said before, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little notify bell as well. Then you know when we're live. We know when we upload a video. And obviously leave us a like before you go. Let's have a quick look at the polls before we all disappear for a couple of weeks on this wonderful international break that I really, really don't want.
I feel like I need it.
Who are England playing? Montenegro, isn't it? And then Kosovo. I think we need a win out of one of those two to qualify.
You bet you Kane and Sterling score.
You're probably right. You're probably right. Let's have a look at these polls then. I've got to do it on my phone because that's the only way I know how. Best defensive double up. Leicester, Sheffield United or Liverpool. Now I know you're on Sheffield United.
I actually still think they are the best defensive double up because of the value.
The value, okay, all right. So we'll go with that. 47%, almost half of you going Liverpool actually. So the Trent and Robbo, or if you're looking elsewhere and people like Van Dijk, 47% of you going for the Liverpool defensive double up. 31% going Sheffield United. 20% of you going with Leicester. The best Leicester asset, excluding Vardy, Sam, is Barnes, Maddison, Tielemans, Chilwell, or Soyuncu. I actually think there's a couple of names that you could add to that list. But of that five, who would you go for?
I think that's really hard. But
you're bigging up Tielemans? I think you should go with Tielemans.
Yeah, but I like Harvey Barnes as well. I like Soyuncu, but yeah, I'll go with Tielemans.
Tielemans, okay, very good. 59% going Maddison. So almost 2/3 of you going with James Maddison. 13% for Tielemans, 23% for Soyuncu, and then Chilwell and Barnes bringing up the rear with 3% and 0%. So no love for Barnes, unfortunately.
I think that's more as a result of everyone else that's in there. I still think he's a good pick as well.
I still think he is a nice differential.
Yeah. And cheap one too.
Because I called him out as one of my minority reports on the FPL show last Thursday. He has got some ridiculous TSB percentage, like 1 or 2%.
Yeah.
So if you do bring in Harvey Barnes, and he does, and it's not like he hasn't looked like scoring. He has looked reasonably threatening. A couple of goals from Harvey Barnes one weekend, and you are going to fly up those ranks, no doubt about it. But nevertheless, no love for you guys from Harvey Barnes. 59% of you going Maddison. Best 4.5 defender out of this little lot: Sam Janmat, Neil Taylor, Rico, Martin Kelly, or Newcastle's Willems.
Rico for me.
Rico, okay, yeah, 55% of the community, over half of you guys, well over half of you guys, going with Bournemouth's Rico. 24% actually next going with Willems from Newcastle next, so he's a popular pick. 14% Janmat, 4% for Kelly, no love for Taylor from Burnley, unfortunately. And then this is a tricky question because there's so many numbers here, but preferred current formation, where are you? Let me ask you this question a bit differently then. Where are you going to be spending that Kane money? You're going to be reinvesting that?
I'm saying still 3-4-3.
3-4-3, okay, so over half again, 55% of you guys in the FPL family community are saying 3-4-3 is still the preferred formation, which is what you think you're going with. I think I might be going 4 at the back. If I go for Robbo as well, that could mean 4 at the back, because then I'd have to bench.
What, 3 in the middle? Because you're still going to go 3 up top if you're going to have Jimenez, Vardy and
yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky, isn't it? Because if you go Trent and Robbo, then you're going to go Lundstrom, because you've got to go Lundstrom. So then who do you bench? Is it Rico? Or is it my other one who's for Soyuncu? So I've got a benching headache potentially there. But listen, we'll worry about that when I get to it. Currently 3-4-3 is the preferred formation by you guys here, 55%. Then 3-5-2, so the heavy midfield is still very popular at 20%. 4-4-2, so going still lighter up top, and the Vardy and the Abraham and the Jimenez thing, people maybe not loving that quite so much, in at 15%. And then 4-3-3, which I think is the formation I might end up with in Game Week 13, only 8%. Only 8%. So 3-4-3 still seems to be the preferred formation of choice in at 55%. Interesting stuff. Well, there we go, guys. Thank you very much for joining us here on FPL Family on this Sunday evening. One of my favourite streams to date, not least because...
What, this one?
Absolutely. Not least because we had over 1,000 people in, which is an FPL Family record by we've smashed it, that record. By a long way. That's like hundreds over what we normally get. Yeah. So guys, if you are new, thank you very much for joining us. Equally because you didn't know how to sit, which was actually hilarious. Even now, it's kind of like semi-arms crossed and don't really know how to sit.
We've got to fix this before next time.
We do need to sort these boxes out before next time. But nevertheless, we have got 2 weeks to consider what we're doing. We are considering...
We aren't here next weekend, but yeah, okay.
That's very true. It's very true. But we are considering pretty wholesale changes in both of our teams, aren't we? You taking the Kane money out to redistribute.
That's happening.
Me taking the Sterling money out to redistribute. So I think, guys, it's absolutely worth getting over to Twitter at FPL Family, getting over to Instagram at FPL Family.
I will post some more this week.
And checking out what we are going to be doing over the next couple of weeks, because I think there's changes afoot. Until FPL FYI on Thursday next week, guys, where you'll see us both with James and Rambo. We will see you very, very soon. Well done this game week. And yes, we'll see you on FYI and on the podcast, of course, next week. So see you soon. Cheers.
Take care, everyone. Bye.